Number 1. Israel Circles dethrones Thinking Space 2 as top 1. With all the undeniable controversy surrounding Israel right now, it would actually make a lot of sense if we see a revival in Israel-themed levels, specifically Israel Circles. I'm pretty sure the level is unfinished right now, but I think there's a decent chance the creator sees his shot at fame here and finishes the level. But there's also a decent chance he doesn't, and it's not even top 1 anyway. In that case, I don't think it's unreasonable to imagine we see a Cherry Team remake in the near future. I even came up with a few predictions on what the name for the level could be. We've got Israel Circles Unleashed, Israel Circles Infinity, Israel Circles X, or Israel Circles Rebirth. These names would be fitting since they just emanate such a strong sense of fear, which would go really well with the incredible difficulty. I think the level would be so hard that Zoink would cower in fear and refuse to verify it. So who would the verifier be? That leads me into my next idea. Number 2. Netanyahu overtakes Zoink as number 1 player. More than anything, politics are just a show where politicians try to make themselves seem superior to one another. I'm not saying politics are stupid or anything, but that's realistically just the way it is. Because of this, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Benjamin Netanyahu emerge as the next top 1 player in Geometry Dash. Think about it. Geometry Dash is debatably the hardest game ever created. Is there any better way to intimidate your opponents than to just be an absolute machine at the game? Personally, I don't think so. If Netanyahu were to verify Israel Circles Unleashed, that would solidify his political legacy as legend. No other prime minister of Israel could ever escape the shadow of that achievement. Iran might even get so spooked that they call off the war entirely. Of course, if this were to actually happen, there would be some pretty crazy consequences. I imagine Israel Circles Unleashed would be so hard that it will make Heliopolis look like a total joke of a level, and Mindcap would lose his mind. He would probably quit the game, or delete Heliopolis, or both. And then we have Doggy, who would buff Grief to be so hard that he would literally spend the rest of his life trying to verify it. Those two things would be pretty sad to see, but honestly, I think Netanyahu dethroning Zoink would be a net positive for the community. Number 3. TCD sells out to Iran. At this point in the war, Netanyahu would probably be regarded worldwide as a hero. Being pitted against Israel, I don't think Iran would just sit back and let this happen. The smartest thing to do here would be for them to buy out the members of TCD and make every video progressively more negative towards the Israeli Geometry Dash community. They could easily hate all over Israel Circles Unleashed, calling it generic Cherry Team slop, and even accusing Netanyahu of hacking the level. They could pay Doggy to say that Grief is harder than Israel Circles Unleashed, and everyone would listen. They could also pay Connix to put an Iranian flag on his hat. Having TCD make this propaganda could genuinely shift the entire course of the game's history. We could even take this a step further. Let's say Iran starts passing some cash under the table to other prominent members of the community. For example, Zoink. Can you imagine what would happen if Zoink started saying Israel Circles Unleashed was extended list? Heck, imagine if Iran started giving money to RobTop. He could unrate any level that Iran wants him to. He can mess with the in-game leaderboards to elevate the stats of Iranian players. He could even delete Netanyahu's account. Honestly, the possibilities are endless, and it would be a huge missed opportunity if Iran skipped out on this. Number 4. North Korea legalizes Geometry Dash. If you watch Instagram Reels, then you know just how heartbroken Kim Jong-un has been ever since the world leaders left him out of the war. And you know what? I feel for the guy. If I loved missiles as much as he did, and then missed my turn to use them, I would crash out. Anyway though, after the verification of Israel Circles Unleashed, Kim Jong-un would probably want a way to one-up Netanyahu's accomplishment. This would be a really smart way for him to get in on the war. In that scenario, I wouldn't be shocked if we saw a legalization of Geometry Dash within North Korea. The goal of this would be simple: create a player so skilled that Netanyahu gets dethroned as number 1. High-performance PCs, 360Hz monitors, and wooden keyboards would be handed out by the government to every household. Geometry Dash would become a subject in North Korean schools. We might even see the verification of a new level called North Korea Circles Infinity to dethrone Israel Circles Unleashed. With this new program implemented in the country, North Korea would become an absolute powerhouse in GD. The top 100 players on Pointer Crate would likely all be North Korean. Netanyahu would be humiliated by this insane one-upping, and he would probably quit the game shortly afterwards. Number 5. Eric Van Wilderman duels Kim Jong-un in versus mode. Honestly, this one might sound a bit unrealistic because RobTop would actually have to release update 2.21, but let's be optimistic and assume that the update has come out by this point. I think it's safe to say that Kim Jong-un probably wouldn't mind conquering South Korea. If that's true, he won't be able to do it with raw military power because the North Korean military program has now been replaced by a Geometry Dash training academy. Instead, he would have to personally face off against Eric Van Wilderman, who is now the face of Geometry Dash in South Korea. Today, we don't know how versus mode will work, but however it turns out, I think it's safe to say that this battle will be intense. I'm pretty sure Eric Van Wilderman could defeat Kim Jong-un, but it really depends on how much effort Kim has poured into the game in his spare time. And if Kim somehow defeated Eric, South Korea really wouldn't have a choice but to hand over their country, and that would be insane to see. But yeah, that's 5 ways that the Iran war could affect Geometry Dash. I think these are actually some pretty valid points, and I'm expecting to see at least a couple of these come true. I do want to give a little disclaimer here at the end. If you are offended or hurt by this video in any way, I'm really sorry. My only goal was to share some of my thoughts and predictions on what is honestly a very sensitive topic for a lot of people. It's not unfair to feel upset about this. And the best thing to do when you're upset is to lift another person up. Luckily, you can do that right now by liking the video and subscribing to my channel. You can even leave a comment to talk about your feelings. But that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching.